All right, hello, this is Stephen Sadleir talking to you about money and power, the secret history. We've gone into oil, we've gone into the Middle East, we've been talking about war. And the question is really, when do we fight? When is war appropriate, if ever? I imagine if you are attacked, you have the right to defend yourself. But there are different positions, and one position that has been leading American policy since the 60s, certainly, since after Kennedy, it's called the Neo-Conservative movement. And there's no better reflection of this collective thought than what's called the Project for a New American Century. This was a think tank. It was started by William Kristol, who is a commentator you might have heard on Fox News, Robert Kagan, who's at the Brookings Institute and writes for the Washington Post, which links it to the CIA, and of course the neoconservatives themselves. Signatories are Jeb Bush, Dick Cheney, Scooter Libby, Donald Rumsfeld, Paul Wolfowitz. So the guys that we've been hearing a lot about, particularly during the Bush administrations, their basic proposition is that America should take a leading role in leading the world, take advantage of our military strength to take a leadership role and to secure our national interests, which include oil and other resources. And that's why they've taken a very proactive stance in militarizing the Middle East, because we need that oil so bad, and with competing interests of Russia and China and India all needing more petroleum, and us needing more petroleum, and the amount of petroleum coming online being less and less and less, this whole neoconservative movement has been pushing for a proactive stance to secure our interests, which is good. It's good somebody is doing that. But it's gone to the extreme of stepping on a lot of toes and getting us involved in a lot of wars and doing things usually covertly and secretively and not informing the public of what's really going on. All these wars in Afghanistan, people aren't telling you the truth about what's going on. The news is not reporting what happened in Iraq. And my book tells you all these little video clips I've been making. I would like to invite you rather to listen to them and form some of your own opinions. But one of the most chilling statements in the Project for a New American Century, which was basically Cheney laid out and implemented during the Bush administration, was this need to accelerate the change. They suggested that it would take some cataclysmic event like a Pearl Harbor to set forth in motions the goals of creating a military dominance around the world and a globalization that would be run by the American and we call Anglo-Americans, so the European or British American interests, which would include the oil companies such as Shell, British Petroleum, along with ConocoPhillips, Chevron, ExxonMobil. They all form a conglomerate now. All the banking houses have become a conglomerate. And the banking and the oil industries have the same controlling interest. These are the same people, and this signatories to the New American Century document are putting forth political opinions that serve their interests, not necessarily the interests of the people of the United States. So you can go to Amazon and read Project for a New American Century yourself. A lot of conspiracy theorists suggest that because they were saying we need something like another Pearl Harbor, that they were the ones behind the 9/11. Well, we can't prove that, of course. I think that's quite an accusation to make. But the fact that they took advantage of 9/11 is pretty obvious, because Saddam Hussein and Iraq had nothing to do with the World Trade Towers coming down. That's been proven. Yet it was the reason that the neocons used for going to both Afghanistan and going to Iraq. And this is where money is made. Most of these people not only have worked in the defense industries and defense contracting industries, but they have very, very big interests. They make money when we're at war. Americans don't realize that these same people make a financial killing as we continue to grow the military-industrial complex. Every American should educate themselves on these points because they affect our policies, they affect our politics, they affect the quality of our life and the world's.